Every Saturday, just before dawn, the gravel lot of the shooting range crunched under the tires of an old pickup. Thomas Martin stepped out, his boots worn but polished, his flannel shirt faded, sleeves rolled to the elbows. A plain baseball cap, its color long bleached by the sun, shaded his eyes. He carried a small range bag, a single box of .45 ACP, and a dented thermos that never left his side. He signed the log at the counter with a steady hand. Martin, T. No flourish, no chatter, just a nod to clerk before heading to lane 7, the farthest from the noise. The regulars called him Pops or the old guy, assuming he was a retired trucker burning through pension checks. They chuckled at his routine. 1 target, 30 rounds, then gone. But the range staff noticed more. The way he scanned the room without turning his head. The way he stood, rooted yet fluid, as if measuring angles no one else could see. His shots were deliberate, each grouping tighter than the last, as if he aimed not at paper but at something beyond. That morning, the range buzzed with a group of young Navy recruits, off-duty and full of bravado. Among them was Ethan, a lean SEAL hopeful with a fresh Trident patch on his gear bag. He set up on lane 5, 2 spots from Martin, and barely glanced at the older man. Just another civilian, he thought, until he heard the cadence. Not loud, not flashy, but precise. 3 shots, pause. 2 shots, pause. No wasted motion. Ethan stole a look. Martin's grip was textbook, his stance unshakable, his focus absolute. As Martin reloaded, Ethan caught sight of a faded tattoo on his forearm. 2 digits and a subtle emblem. No flourish, no flare. Ethan froze. That wasn't a tattoo you got on a whim. It was earned, carved from a time when service meant silence. He waited until Martin fired his last round, then stepped closer. Sir, that tattoo? First recon, right? Martin set his pistol down, his eyes meeting Ethan's without warmth or haste. Once, he said. 1 word, heavy as stone. Ethan nodded, sensing the line he'd brushed against, and stepped back to his lane. But his rhythm faltered. His eyes kept drifting to lane 7, where Martin moved with the weight of decades. The other recruits didn't notice. They laughed, swapped bets, compared targets. One, a wiry kid named Cole, leaned over, grinning. Old man still got it, huh? Ethan didn't answer. He was watching Martin's hands, steady, unhurried, cleaning his pistol with a rag as worn as his boots. Each motion was a lesson, though no one else seemed to see it. After 30 rounds, Martin packed up. Ethan hesitated, then approached again. Sir, when did you serve? Martin paused, his gaze steady. 66 to 77. Recon, Southeast Asia. Ethan's breath caught. That tattoo marked not just service, but missions that didn't make it to history books. Deep jungle, no backup, no names. Laos. Ethan ventured. Martin's nod was slight. Among other places. The range seemed to hush, not in sound but in feeling, as if lane 7 had drawn a circle of quiet. Ethan pressed gently. Ever trained with SEALs? Martin's lips twitched, not quite a smile. Back then, we all did a bit of everything. You moved, you survived. Or you didn't. Ethan grinned, then risked one more question. Sir, my CO told us about a 71 op. Deep jungle, exfil under fire. Guy took a hit, but carried 2 men out. Classified for years. Was that? Martin's eyes didn't waver. Lots of things stayed classified. The door closed, softly but firmly. Ethan stepped back. As Martin slung his bag and walked out, Ethan stood straighter, almost at attention. Thank you for your service, sir. Martin paused, then reached into his pocket and pressed something into Ethan's hand. A heavy coin, one side bearing the first recon crest, the other a single phrase. Still here. His voice dropped low. You'll know when to walk quiet. Till then, earn it. Then he was gone, fading into the morning light. Ethan stood rooted, the coin's weight anchoring him. His buddies gathered, expecting a quip, but fell silent when they saw the coin. Cole whispered, No way, that's real. Ethan's gaze flicked to lane 7. It's real. That was Staff Sergeant Thomas Martin. At the counter, Ethan asked clerk about Martin. The man shrugged, scrolling through records. T. Martin, Signed up years ago. Pays cash, no email, no fuss. Only weird thing? He wrote no recognition, no events in his file. Said once, when I thanked him, I didn't do it for thanks. Kinda shut me up. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He dug through declassified files, piecing together fragments. In a 1971 MACVAG report, he found it S. Sergeant. Thomas Martin, 1st Recon Laos, March 6th. Evac under fire. 7 saved. Wounded twice. Declined honors. Deemed irreplaceable. Silent. The word silent hit like a bullet. Martin had carried that silence through decades, blending into background. Just another old man in flannel. The next Saturday, Martin returned. Same truck, same routine. But the air had shifted. Ethan and 3 teammates arrived early, sitting quietly at the range's edge. They didn't approach, just nodded as Martin passed. The range felt different. Less chatter, more focus. Midway through his session, Ethan walked over, holding a sealed box of .45 ACP. Figured 30 rounds might not cut it today, sir. Martin studied him, then took the box with a slow nod. No words, just the rhythm of his shots resuming. Later, as Martin sipped from his thermos, the younger men approached one by one. A nod, a handshake, a quiet sir. Cole lingered, voice low. We looked you up. You saved a lot of guys. Martin wiped his thermos. They saved each other. Ethan sat beside him, both staring at the range. After long silence, Ethan spoke. Ever think about teaching? Not tactics. How to keep going after. Martin exhaled. Spent 30 years trying to forget what I'd teach. But some things you carry. He paused and added, you don't teach it. You live it. Quietly. Ethan nodded. That's why we're listening. Martin's gaze lingered, a faint spark in his eyes, then stopped talking so much. They both chuckled, the sound soft against the morning. Before leaving, Martin left the unopened ammo box on the bench, a small gesture, heavy with meaning. That afternoon, the staff nailed a brass plate above Lane 7, no bigger than a postcard, reserved until he says otherwise. Martin never asked who put there, never told him to take it down. Months later, Martin stopped coming. No warning, no goodbye. The men gathered at Lane 7, silent. Ethan, now a full SEAL, placed a fresh ammo box on the bench, scribbling on it, for those who listen. The plate stayed, a quiet marker for a man who taught without speaking. Years on, Cole, now an instructor, brought recruits to Lane 7. He didn't tell Martin's story, didn't need to. He let them stand there, feel the weight of the silence. And if they were wise, they heard it. The echo of a man who carried history in his hands and left in the way he stood, the way he shot, the way he walked away. So, have you met a Martin? A veteran who never boasted, never needed to, but changed the air around them? Share their name, their story. Because the greatest warriors don't shout. They wait for someone to see the truth in their silence.